time he switches. Beat a nigga ass like mama did with switches. You niggas look a real gay. Where are the bitches? I mean, where are the sisters? Better stay away from witches. That's a brouhaha. Love me as she brew, yeah. White people, he brew now. If you didn't know, then you do now. You belong to me. Yeah. All right. This nigga's bonkers. From the same city as the Knickerbockers. Name ring bells from here to Yonkers. Or Nicaragua. You niggas too thirsty, you need some agua. I ain't talking Fina. When they kill my dog, I ain't hear shit from Peter. These niggas talk Kent, but they really mean FEMA. Haven't cut this, I got more stripes than Adidas. If you ain't a bad bitch, then get the fuck off my penis. 1-2 step with a meat tree drip. Keep my circle tighter than my meat tree is. If I don't fuck with you, you a piece of shit. When I dip, you dip, we dip, we dip. This type of shit that I sing to my bitch. No 6ix9ine, we don't sing no snitch. Gotta love that bass. Social distance, I love my space. Tell Karen, get the fuck out my face. We ain't never switching up on our race. It's you, baby. One more time. Gotta love that bass. Social distance, I love my space. Tell Karen, get the fuck out my face. We ain't never switching up on our race, cause you belong to me. One more time for the ladies in the back, hey.
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them fiending. If any try to shoot you, make sure that you leave them leaking. He said,
I'ma hold you down when problems pop up.
How you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the Benz vertible with the top up?
Yeah.
Stop bitching, get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's wop up. I know you know Ron.
Who the plug from by the block up?
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly and Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up them commas, be honest, he seemed decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. In fact, he ain't looking too good. His knees is kinda slow. I asked him why the struggle, he got stuck up for his bundle. But them 6 hollow tips in his legs what made him crumble.
Busy got a house, and mama is living good.
Said the feds took it all, he right back in the hood. I see you try to play me, you gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out our ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than them cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it, remember I said it.
Nah, you could dead it.
What you saying, I can't win?
Nah, devil, nice try, so until we meet again.
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil.
I ain't religious or superstitious, but we've been getting fucked and put to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die a martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor,
why you gave our homeboys life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming out that he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's trife, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ask Trayvon, Mike Brown, a Kai Gurley, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Alden, Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil and said, I pray you die, every devil.
All my niggas ride for me. I got niggas that'll die for me. You niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap peeled like that, cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that, you niggas ain't built like that. You was never on the block, you ain't never dodge a knock. You ain't never fought another crew holding down the park. You ain't swam with the sharks, you ain't wrestled with the gators. You was never fucking popping, you ain't got no fucking haters. Bitch, niggas like you make me watch out for the traitors. When you round some real niggas, mind your behavior. I will beat a nigga ass, then I'm laughing like I'm Jada. Get your fucking mind blown like a cartridge on a Sega. You niggas want attention, they don't want the war though. Talking all that shit, but you got a glass jaw. Ho, they never deliver. They got that DiGiorno. This that Walking Dead flow. I eat a rapper torso. You ain't the same man once you off the microphone. You ain't never broke a bone. You ain't never had a scar. You a certified pussy, so don't make me pull your card. I'm a certified prophet, respected like the word of God. Cause you ain't got the heart, nigga. You ain't got the heart. You ain't about to finish any beef that you start. You ain't never been a soldier, little nigga. Play your part. Claiming that you'll spark when you ain't got the heart. Cause you niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you gon' bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap peeled like that, cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you gon' bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood'll get spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap peeled like that, cause niggas get killed like that. All my niggas ride for me. All my niggas ride with me. I got niggas that'll die for me. All my niggas ride with me.
You don't want no problems, my brothers, they stand around me on point like equal dollar. Don't make the wrong move or face the repercussions. Just keep bluffing and give me a reason for me to flush it. My people lusting after the serpent and he beguiled you. Wicked niggas just keep on sinning like we allowed to. 400 plus years of being in chains. They took the yoke up off our neck and put it straight on our brains. So what's changed? There's no new thing under the sun. They still slaughter us, die by the knee and scared of the gun. It's open season, murderers kill us for no reason. It's my people I love, I ain't fucking with no heathen. I don't wanna meddle, my niggas, we still oppressed. We just went from a pot to a kettle. One West rebel, pressure bust pipes or a blood vessel. You know the white man is the devil. This truth will never stop teaching. U.P.K soldiers in every region. Right now is the time and the season. No heathens, no heathens. Death before the sun of no treason. One West until a nigga stop breathing. Kwam Yashala, we screaming. No heathens, no heathens. Death before the sign of we living through trauma under command and General YAHANNA. This army is stronger. We on the front line, ready to die for this truth. While the white man kissing our boots. And I don't never see none of you cowards when the work is getting started. Cause year of your father, the serpent in the garden, they plotting and scheming. We going through curses, fighting demons. Give a fuck about a flat earth while my people out here feeling pain and anguish. Because the gates thereof language scattered abroad. We was given another language, plus we living at the bottom. Supposed to be on top. When to stop, get killed by the hands of these wicked cops. Lacing our boots, ready for war. This is One West, and we are not affiliated. Nigga, fuck the rest. Me and my brother just want a ball. Shout out to I.S.U.P.K, and we some warlords. Learned that from YAHANNA. This truth will never stop teaching. U.P.K soldiers in every region. Right now is the time and the season. No heathens, no heathens. Death before the sun of no treason. One West until a nigga stop breathing. Kwam Yashala, we screaming. No heathens, no heathens.
Now let me tell y'all something. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we the true Jews of the Bible. We gotta come together and stop fighting against each other, man. Instead of loving these heathens, we need to love each other. That's the only way we gonna win this war against our enemies.
This truth will never stop teaching. U.P.K soldiers in every region. Right now is the time and the season. No heathens, no heathens. Death before the sun of no treason. One West until a nigga stop breathing. Kwam Yashala, we screaming. No heathens, no heathens.
True story.
The following is based on real events.
Yo. She didn't care for the Yeezys and the Jordans. Tired of the lies pastors told over organs. Her father just passed, so her heart had a dent. She would struggle with her mother to come up with the rent. Pastor only wanted dollars, something make sense. Till she heard a little story that went something like this. What's your nationality? Come and get a flyer. Do you know we got a dark-skinned Messiah? The devil is deceitful and the white man is a liar. Now she wanna study just to get her knowledge higher. A few months passed and she ain't one with her mother. Since she started learning, they would argue with each other. My mother doesn't understand, I'm not in the code. She needs to respect my decisions as an adult. This is
Check, check, check. Most High in Christ, check. Clap it up. Shalom. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Barakatah to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathah Bahashim Yahweh Shah to all my sisters. I'm priest and officer of 1,000 Bon Kayal, and we're coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And we are the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Salakia. And what we do, this is not a church, this is a school. You go to school to learn. You go to school to get an education, all right? You go to school so that you could be better than you were yesterday, all right? In this school, we teach daily life living skills to God's chosen people, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's very, very important that we understand this, all right? We've been called everything under the sun but a child of God. In all actuality, we are the princes of the power. Yasha'Allah, that is our name in the Hebrew. Familiarize yourself with that. Familiarize yourself with understanding that we're the only royalty that's ever walked the face of planet Earth. So while you're mourning for Queen Elizabeth and all the so-called monarchy over in Britain, man, those are absolute dogs, okay? And Salakia, I hate to start the class that way, but you got to hear it. You have to hear the truth, okay? Our people are the greatest people on planet Earth. And the Bible teaches us that, all right? So much so, what makes us so great as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? When you look around, you look at society, we're on the bottom. What I mean by us being royalty is us returning to our heritage, returning to who we were, who the Most High Power created us to be, okay? Getting back to who we were in biblical times, man, during antiquity. At one point in time, we were set above all the other nations on earth. And that time is coming. That time is prophesied to occur again, okay? But the only way that we can get back to our old status, get back to the old standard, is by keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Why don't we do that? Why don't we keep the law, statutes, and commandments today? Well, primarily because of our people being stuck in the Christian church, because of the Christian pastors, man, because of the Roman Catholic Church, because we're too busy wanting to, be Seventh-day Adventist or Pentecostal or Southern Baptist or AME Zion or whatever. None of that has anything to do with the worship of the God of Israel. None of that has anything to do with you reclaiming your culture. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. None of that at all has anything to do with you getting closer to God. If anything, it separates you from the love of God. You put on a different covering when you go into the Christian church, when you go into the Muslim mosque, when you decide you want to be a Buddhist or you want to worship idols and take on paganism and become a witch or a warlock. All of those things are the reason why we are destroyed as a nation, okay? And we have to get back to understanding who we are and what we're supposed to do with the time that the Most High Power has allotted us on this earth. So, Lockett, we need to go live on the Facebook. I got you. I got to change the privacy. Anyhow, what we're going to talk about today is a continuation of last week's class. This is the biblical history class, okay? And we're teaching this class out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, okay? You got these dumb country boys down here going into the Bible, teaching you precept upon precept. We're going in the books that your pastor never thought to look at. We're going into the Apocrypha, man. The books that were hidden, the books that were removed from the biblical canon, okay? These are the books that re-emphasize your identity. They put so much emphasis on who we are and that we're not like any other nation in these books, in these, 14 books? As far as our dietary law, there's a whole story that goes into a mother and her 7 sons and how they were unalived in a very gruesome, cruel, and unusual way by some heathen king. And all he wanted them to do was to eat swine, which we do willfully here in America. We're still eating like slaves in 2024. And we know that these things, eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, there is no real health benefit for us. Anyhow, matter of fact, Give me Deuteronomy 7:6, Baba Kushar. We'll talk about who we are as a nation of people. Then we're going to go into the story of Bel and the dragon. Shout out to Sister Arabah, who's in here, as usual. Young man Reggie, I see you. Young man James Futrell, still rocking with us after all this time. Okay, Trooper Warrior Allah in here. All right. Most High in Christ. You know. It's the book of Deuteronomy. You got it? Well, you too.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power.
That thou, you got to understand, in this Bible, you know, the Bible is like a combination of letters or epistles and messages. And when you send a message, you identify a recipient to this message as a sender. So the Most High Power is sending a message to the thou. The thou is who? So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Us, the Israelites, man. All right? He says, thou art what?
For thou art, a holy people unto the Most High thy power.
Thou art a holy people unto the Most High thy power. That's a positive affirmation. The Most High Power, we're saying that we are a what? A holy?
Holy people unto the Most High thy power.
That word holy just means separate, set apart, sever. That's who we are. When you look at all the other nations, they scratch their head when they look at us because we're so different than them. And the Most High Power did that. He set the differences between the nations. He confounded the languages and scattered us. All because we decided we wanted to be of one mind. The Lord, he said that we're different, okay? Embrace that and get used to being different. Get used to being set apart. Get used to being holy. All right? Not the holy that you learn in the church where you adorn yourself in choir robes and big stupid hats and Steve Harvey suits. That's not holy, man. All right? This is holy. All right? Keep reading.
Come on. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people to himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So there's a lot to unpack there. The Most High Power, although he created all these other nations, all this different variation of life, when we think of humanity, you got so many different nations of people. You got the Chinese, you got the Japanese, you got the Caucasians, and a thousand different, branches of them. You got the East Indians, it's so many different groupings of people. But he chose you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. He gave you the name Yasha, okay? We're not like any of the other people that he created. We don't move like them. We don't dress like them. We don't talk like them. We don't eat like them. We don't behave like them, or at least we're not supposed to. When you look around, you see so many of us lost in the sauce. So many of us don't know who we are because of the Christian church, because of oppression, because of white society. Us being forced to assimilate and conform to their society, to their ways. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, I'm telling you today, you don't have to assimilate nor conform to their society. We have our own constitution, our own paradigm by which to live, and it's found within the pages of this Bible, all right? This is how you become separate. This is how you become holy. This is how you become set above all the other nations on earth. It's when you learn to start keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, practically applying them to your life. It has a transformative effect on every aspect of your life. You don't even look the same after 90 days of you coming to class. I bump into people all the time. They don't even recognize me. I know who they are. They're still doing the same damn thing they was doing when I first met them. But they look at me and they don't know who they're looking at. And it's a beautiful thing. I love every second of it. Because I'm a new creature, a new being. Okay? So Most High in Christ to that. Anyhow, continue with that.
Come on. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High is our power, not the power of Esau, not the power of Moab or Ammon or Elam or Ham, the filthy Africans. He's not the power of them. He's the power of you, black man. He's the power of you, Hispanic man. He's your power, Native Indian. So why are we seeking after, these other gods, these other customs, these other cultures and traditions to appease us or to save us, man? We go after things, and our action of going after anything other than the Most High power is vain. It means absolutely nothing. It's like we do this in a frivolous manner. There's only one thing that you should do if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and that's come and get in these classes, man. All right? Come sit at the feet of the priests and prophets. Bring your questions. Bring your damn pastor down here. Bring Big Mama. If she can keep her damn mouth closed, bring her down here with her questions and all of her pompous pride. Bring them down here so we can talk about, we can have a healthy conversation, about these scriptures. All right. It won't be much of a conversation because if you come in here, you're going to come in here to learn. All right. It's not going to be much dialogue. It'll be more of a dissertation. That's what it'll be. And you're going to get your philosophy picked apart, precept upon precept, strategically picked apart. All right. Anyhow, is that it on that verse?
You want 7?
No, that's it on that. Drop that. Go to Deuteronomy 14:2. Baba Kushah. We're going to stay right there in who we are as a nation of people.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2. For thou art an holy people to the Most High thy power.
Here we go again. This is repetition. All right. The Bible repeating itself, reinforcing itself about who you are. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. You are the seed of your father. Let's get this straight. There's a lot of confusion going on right now on the earth. You got this Drake and Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. And there's a lot of dirty laundry being aired out, man. And all of it goes against the tenets of brotherhood. That's not our custom. All right. Now, we like rap. We love a good rap beef. But I understand why J. Cole backed out. Because he lived through the East Coast, West Coast wars and that madness between, Biggie Smalls and Tupac. And how the little hat, how he pitted brothers against brothers just because we were in different locations, different localities, pitted us against one another. You rep the East Coast, I rep the West Coast, or what have you. J. Cole lived through that, man. He saw what happened. And there wasn't anything good that came from that. So it is what it is, man. I think that was him extending brotherhood, but that's another conversation. They're talking about Drake being a so-called Jew, and he is, according to who his father is, not because his mother is a Jewish woman. All right. Jewish meaning not quite, something like. All right. She's an imposter. And he goes in and he's talking, I think it's Rosenberg or whoever, and they're talking about his Jewish origin. And he talks about how there's other rappers in the game that didn't read their portion, meaning if you identify as being a Jew, you should know how to read the Hebrew. You should know how to read and write in the Hebrew. And that's what we do in this school. We teach you our language, our native tongue, the holy tongue, okay? The Lashawan Quadash. Officer Quadam, he teaches that class every Friday religiously. Him and Officer Ayathon down here with their families in tow. The baby's speaking Hebrew in here. And you want to speak in tongues in some damn church. Not making any sense. Anyhow, we off that. Deuteronomy 14:2, continue.
For thou art a holy people to the Most High thy power, and the Most High hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth.
Good night, man. Once again, like I said, reemphasizing the fact that we're holy, we're separate, we're set apart, we're severed from all people, and we belong to the Most High power, okay, whose name is Yahweh, okay? That's all. That's the Most High's name. the tetragrammaton, man. The Y, that was Yahweh, the YHWH, the tetragrammaton. It's in the Bible. When you learn the Hebrew, if you don't know the Hebrew, you'll never know the name of the Most High Power. This is where you're getting all the yeshivas and the yeshuas and all this Yiddish. It's rubbish. That's what it is. You're not learning the truth. You're not learning the actual factuals about who the Most High is, okay? And the Most High has chosen thee. We have been chosen. We know what it's like to not be chosen. We know what it's like to be rejected, to be most hated. We're a nation that's not desired, according to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Shalom. You want it? Most High Christ. Most High Christ. So we have been chosen to be a peculiar people. What does it mean to be peculiar? What does that word peculiar mean? It just means strange, man. It means different. Not like everything else that you see. When you see a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, woman, or child walk into any room, into any white space, you know it's different. Officer Zion putting his touches on everything. Oh man, I thank the Lord for that, brother. Anyhow, it says the Lord chose the need to be a peculiar people unto himself, meaning we can't be doing what all the other people do. Just like your mama and her and your father's house, he raises you to conduct yourself a certain way. He's not raising you to be like the children in the street. Think about Boys in the Hood, where Furious Styles was raising Trey. He wasn't raising Trey to be like Ricky or to be like Doughboy or to be like Lil Chris. You see how they all ended up. We're supposed to be peculiar people unto the Most High. This is why we don't worship on Sunday. We have a Sabbath service on every Saturday. We do the Lord's work on Saturday. We become fishers of men. We do that every day. This is why we don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You won't catch us at Bojangles getting a sausage biscuit in the morning, all right? You won't catch us at a Low Country Boil eating God knows what is put in those things, man. How are you going to make something that the Lord deemed unclean? How are you going to make it clean? Talk about cleaning shrimp and how you clean a shrimp. They say you are what you eat. What does a shrimp eat? Refuse. Dead and decaying matter, man. And you put that in your body and you think you're going to have a clean bill of health when you go see Doc Schwartz. Your blood work going to be all over the place. All right. Peculiar unto himself above all the nations. All the nations. That word nation translates to family. All right. Out of all the different nations, what is it? 18 separate nations on earth. We are our own separate family, man. And the Lord has a way that he wants us to move in the earth amidst all these other families. We have our own separate identity. And it's not what they're promoting on BET or on VH1 or on MTV. That's not our culture. That's not Black culture. If you went to the 55th Passover, you would have seen Black culture, man. Hispanic, Native Indian culture, Israelite culture. Above all the nations that are upon the earth, drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 26 and 19. The book of Deuteronomy 26 and 19. I'm going to keep it here in one book. Same book.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 26 and verse 19. And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made.
Salakia. Go to 18. Salakia.
Okay, verse 18. And the Most High hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people,
right,
as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments.
So the Most High power, it says avouched. I know we don't use that phrase, that term in here, but the Lord basically standing for us. Okay, he's making a declaration that we are what? His peculiar people, his strange people, man. Okay, as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments. You know about the promises, all right? And we just talked about that, us being separate, set apart, us being set above all the other nations on earth. That's for us, the kingdom of heaven. That's a promise for us as Israelites. All right. And that thou shouldest keep all his commandments. You in the Christian church, the church teaches against that, teaches against keeping God's law, statutes, commandments. Run. You should run out of those churches because they're not giving you what the Bible reinforces. I just gave you 3 separate precepts, all about you being peculiar, all about you being set apart, all about you being holy. Go ahead, Adawan.
It's a lucky, if I may. In today's society, we have so many things that misrepresent us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that they say supposed to rep for us or vouch for us, and we attach ourselves to those things, and we end up getting brokenhearted, end up with all type of shortcomings, end up with the short end of the stick.
Right.
The Most High vouch for us. How you gonna lose? So we're attaching ourselves to every other thing in the earth except for the law, statutes, and commandments and being brothers and sisters.
That's right.
That's the only way we're gonna win. That's the only way we're gonna have something that have stood the test of time, if I may. The Bible is the most purchased book over all the earth.
Right.
It means there is something that's in this book that stands for something. But how many politicians that they said have stood for the black community? Where are they now? We open up the record books and we open up their hidden, the things that they do in the dark, and we find out, wait a minute, you was supposed to be representing me?
Right.
Martin Luther King, you was representing me?
Good night.
And there is no way. Al Sharpton, you supposed to been representing me?
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Jackson?
Messy Jesse.
Barack Obama?
Good night.
Or should I say Barack? These are the people who they put in front of the black community, Hispanic and Native Indian community. They say these are the people that's supposed to represent us.
Right.
They go as far as putting a so-called oppressor in front of all the black churches back in the day. That was supposed to represent who? Our Savior.
Right.
So we look at the book, we find out that Christ was a black man. Our king is, you know what I'm saying, represented us in the utmost way, which is sacrificing his life. So we should be looking in the book to find out what are those things that he stood for to represent who? His people.
That's right.
That's the only way somebody gonna vouch for you. How can Kawal vouch for me if we don't share the same interests?
Right.
You understand? He can't stand for me. How can the brother in the world stand for you and he high off all type of drugs? You understand? But in brotherhood, we can stand for each other.
That's right.
You understand? And following the law, statutes, and commandments, Christ stood for us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And following this Bible is what matters today, man. Water bunker, y'all. Most time,
no, damn right. I don't want to give him a hand. He right. Absolutely right, man. You know, Israelite culture is its own separate and unique set of customs and traditions. All right. It's not like anything else that's presented on earth from any other nation. All right. The nations mimic us at our lowest. You got drill music in Japan. Drill music is a direct byproduct of us being destroyed, man. It's not us really making music, but it's us expressing, you know, what goes on in our communities. What the conditions. It's describing the conditions of living in the ghetto or in the projects or in the favelas. All right. Or on the reservation. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you have to understand that our culture is unique and it's unlike any other via humankind. Okay. Our culture is of the Creator. It's perfect and it's devoid of flaw. It's meaningful and it's not vain. When you look at the oppressor's culture, his customs, his holidays, they're all debased by vanity. They're all debased by the worship of other deities or idols. Okay, it's paganism. That's all it is. It's witchcraft. It's the occult. It don't have any meaning. There's no life in any of those things. All right. You think about the meaningful things that we keep in here, like the Sabbath. Okay, that has real meaning. You learn about the Sabbath in the book of Genesis. It talks about the creation story. What was the first day? You know, how do you measure a day? Time. The measure of time. That's our culture. All right. You think about the high holy days. Every one of our high holy days has something to do with us dealing with the other nations or us depending upon the most high power, our obedience. All right. You think about the high holy days, like the Passover. Okay. And if we weren't obedient, we would have been unalived by the angel of death. But we were obedient. Those of us that were obedient, we came up out of Egypt, man. And we're going to need that same spirit, that same zeal, that same obedience today to come up out of bondage here in America. All right. Anyhow, our culture, beyond the law, statutes, commandments, what it will do is establish a true standard of peace and tranquility here on the earth. Heaven's going to be here on the earth. Most of us are unfit for the kingdom of heaven. But in the I.S.U.P.K, we teach the tradition of what will be kept in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? You might as well get in class now instead of waiting till later. Save yourself some heartache and save your children. You don't want your children to be destroyed any further than what they are. Save your children, man. Come in here and break those generational curses. All right. Let's drop that. Now we're going to get into the story of Bel and the dragon. All right. And this is found in the Apocrypha. I love this book. This book right here, is very satisfying to read the precepts in this book. It says the history of the destruction of Bel and the dragon. Now, the Christian church, they look at this as being mythos, or mythology, or folklore, okay? This is a part of, in their minds, they don't attribute this to being a part of the biblical, accepted biblical canon, okay? But here in I.S.U.P.K, we acknowledge this book as being, of the Most High, okay? And as the oracles of the Most High power, we're gonna speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's what we're giving you, okay? So we're in the Apocrypha, the history of the destruction of Bel and the dragon, okay? If you can, brother, you can just take it from the top.
This is the Bel and the dragon, the Apocrypha. And King,
I think it's Astyages.
And King Astyages was gathered to his fathers, and Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom.
Right. And this is a monarch, okay? Says he was gathered unto his fathers. What does that mean? Meaning that he passed away, okay? He was resting, he was sleeping with his fathers, his forefathers, okay? And Cyrus of Persia, it sounds like a heathen to me, received his kingdom. Keep reading.
And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends.
So what's heavy about this, Daniel being an Israelite, he had a mere conversation with the king. Daniel being separate, being set apart, him being severed from all the other nations, him holding true to the law, statutes, and commandments, him understanding who he is as an Israelite. He had a conversation with the king, and he was honored above all of his friends, man. That's what we are in the I.S.U.P.K. You put us in a room with any mover or shaker. See Captain Zariak he show you how to move in a room full of gangsters, man. He sets the standard when he does any interview. I had a brother ask me, he was like, hey, who was the other guy that was in there with Captain Tazariak? I said, who, Tariq Nasheed? He said, yeah. He was like, yeah, that brother was like really respecting Captain Tazariak. I said, Most High in Christ. I'm glad you saw it that way. Anyhow, Daniel had a mere conversation with the king and was honored, meaning he was held in high esteem above all his friends. And I wonder why. You think Daniel was in there talking crazy? Daniel had discipline. Daniel had wisdom. He didn't smell like weed. He didn't. He didn't smell like weed. He didn't smell like, he wasn't drunk off his behind in there talking to the king. He wasn't in there talking about nothing that, meaningless banter. He didn't have that with the king. Yeah, he definitely had good representation. as he was conversing with this monarch, man. Keep reading, Baba Kushah.
Okay. Now, the Babylonians had an idol.
We know about the Babylonians, and we know about their idolatry, them worshiping idols. See, the Most High Power didn't choose them. Okay, so they've been left to their own vices. They worship the sun, the moon, the stars, the dirt. The Babylonians worship idols. And they had a specific idol, and this idol was called who?
The Babylonians had an idol called Baal, and there were spent upon him day 12 great measures of fine flour and 40 sheep and 6 vessels of wine.
Right. So every day they spent 12 great measures of fine flour. I wonder what a measure is. You think about we had to fry that damn chicken for the black party, and for which is an honor. I ain't gonna hold you. It was an honor. I learned something about myself, man. 200 pounds of chicken can be fried in a matter of a few hours, you know, with minimal fryers. But when I think of a measure, I would think of that big, how many, what was it? It was not even a pound bag of flour, 12 great measures. So it's the big pack you get from Sam's Club or from Costco. The one you got to put over your shoulder. 12 of those. I think that's Trooper Garage. 12 great measures of flour, of fine flour, and 40 sheep. I think we slaughtered, 10 to 12 at the lamb slaughter? 40 sheep were slaughtered every single day in honor of this idol. And 6 vessels of wine. You think about a vessel, you know, this ain't no vessel. This ain't really a vessel here. You know what I'm saying? You think of a vessel, you think of something that you would use to feed a great crowd or a group of people. The vessel will be used at a wedding procession or what have you, or a baby shower or what have you, you know. Anyhow, let's keep reading. This was spent every day on this idol. Verse 4. When you get it.
Verse 4. And the king worshiped it.
The king did what?
Worshiped it.
Mm-hmm.
And went daily to adore it.
Good night.
But Daniel worshiped his own power.
Daniel was separate. Daniel was peculiar. Daniel was set apart. This is a king now. And we get so caught up in the delusion of these people being something greater than what they are because they have money, because they have influence, because they have power. No. You are a prince or princess of the power if you're an Israelite. You have a direct connection to God, to the Most High. Who gives a damn about King Astyages or Cyrus of Persia? These are just mere men with titles. Daniel was showing his quality in front of this king. He didn't go and adore the idol of Baal. He didn't worship the idol Baal like so many of us do. Most of us do it and we don't even know. We don't even realize we're worshiping idols and the things that we do. Yeah, what damn, that's heavy, Ottawa. What is your Baal? What are your Baals? What are they? Oh, I tried. That's spiritual for you to say shoes, because I want to get on Nike's behind, but I know that the generals already gave a little breakdown on it. But the way that brothers collect those Nikes, you know, it's not normal. It's not a natural thing. It's almost like akin to worship. You won't wear any other shoe. You only wear Nikes. If you know the history of Nike, being a Greek goddess of what? Victory. And she's worshipped in the pantheon of all these other Greek gods. We need to have a conversation with Phil Knight. When he came up with the name of his company, Nike, was he worshiping the idol Nike? Athletes worship her to this very day, and so do we. But we won't remove them. We won't get rid of the Nikes in our house. We won't separate ourselves from those idols. Okay? I'm off it. These are shoes. We are in captivity still. All right? We don't own no factories. Most High in Christ. That's a good segue. You know, we worship Beyonce and Jay-Z, and, you know, we're giving all this time and energy and attention to Drake and Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Worshiping them. You got to listen to their music every single day. Holding them in high esteem. Giving them the honor and the praise that you should be giving the Most High. Think about substance abuse. You know, you can't put down that damn bottle. But you got to suck on that blunt before you do anything. Before you eat breakfast. You got to roll up an easy water. It don't make sense, man. The worship of other gods, all right, of idols. Keep reading. Start at verse 4. The history of the destruction of Baal and the dragon.
Verse 4. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God.
His own power, man. His own power. We just read all in Deuteronomy how the Most High is our power. Daniel was a part of that bloodline. You're a part of that ancient bloodline of Daniel, if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Keep reading.
And the king said unto him, why doest not thou worship Baal?
So the king, in all of his banging his head up against some damn carpet or whatever, him kissing the Blarney Stone of Baal, okay? He's noticed Daniel doesn't worship Baal the way that he does. Go ahead, brother.
That's so you can tell that's in the heathen's nature. You go to work. Why aren't you wearing green for St. Patrick's Day? Why aren't you at the Christmas party wearing red? Like, what? Hey man, I noticed you didn't go rub the mistletoe when you came in today.
That's right.
You're not participating in Hawaiian T-shirt day, whatever the hell.
Right.
They're just so nosy and intrusive on what the hell you believe.
That's right.
As a heathen, niggas don't even slocky. Negroes don't even care if you come to work if you're wearing green or not. We don't give a damn who ate what for lunch. We go in the car taking a nap. We don't care who celebrates what, but the oppressors and heathens, they care about what God you serve. How was your fourth? Gotta ask you that.
Yep.
Yeah. How was your fourth?
How was your fourth?
How was your turkey on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. How was your Thanksgiving?
You got inside eat no turkey. I just say it was cool.
Salakia, others say that it's just food. You can eat it even when it's a birthday party. Like it's just food.
Yeah. Yeah.
They try.
Yeah.
Stop it right in there.
Josh got the spirit of Daniel in him. Oh man, that's heavy. You're absolutely right, brother. He says, why dost not thou worship Baal? Keep reading.
Verse 5. Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God, who hath created the heaven and earth, and hath sovereignty over all flesh.
Man, that's heavy. Like I said, Daniel knew who he was. He was raised right. His parents instilled in him the law, statutes, and commandments. So he knows that you can't worship idols made with human hands. He knows that you can't worship creations, but the creator. He knew that. And he didn't fake the funk in front of this king, in front of all his friends. He kept it real. He stood for the Lord that day. Daniel stood for Israel that day. And he said, read it again. Because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God. But the living power. But the living Yahweh. That's who I worship. I don't worship Baal. I don't worship Nike. I don't worship any of the idols. Go ahead, Adawan.
And Salaki, and just to understand when they say because, you know what I'm saying, we got to understand what that because is indicating. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's almost saying for this reason. You understand? It's like for this reason I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that we have to stand for. Why you don't celebrate Christmas? For this reason.
Right.
You understand? Why you don't vote? Well, for this reason.
Right.
You understand? And that's more or less me not being able to be giving you a soft answer.
Right.
I'm giving you the answer that's the truth. You understand? Often in this world, people like to play in that gray area. I'm gonna say for this reason is why I don't celebrate Christmas. Because thus says the Lord. For this reason, I'm not going to vote. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we get, we get challenged in the streets every time. Oh, why you brothers wearing that, that 6-point star? Well, for this reason. It's a whole different vibe to it.
That's right.
It shows authority. You understand? But I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm telling you that what I'm saying is the truth. I don't need you to agree with me. I know that what I'm saying is the truth for this reason.
Right. No, give him a he's right about that. And I don't need your validation because I have the most high power who's instructed me to do these things, and it's a challenge for a lot of us. So it's a real challenge to, when you're in that moment to show your quality, okay? But you shouldn't have anything to fear. All right. You should be fearless like Daniel was. All right. And stand on business. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 6. Then said the king unto him.
Oh, Salakia. Go back down to the middle of 5. Just start at 5 again.
Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God, who hath created the heaven and the earth.
Right.
And hath sovereignty over all flesh.
So what does that word sovereignty mean? What does it mean to be sovereign? He said that he created heaven and earth. All that you know, your reality is what the Most High created. Baal ain't created a damn thing. He's a burden. You got to go to him every single day. Go ahead, brother.
This is the Merriam-Webster's definition of sovereignty. A supreme power, especially over a body.
Right. So the Most High has authority, right? Authority over all flesh. The king included. Daniel included. The king don't know that, though. He about to find out. Keep reading.
Verse 6. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God?
So you don't think that Baal is a living God? You don't think Baal is a living God? I'm spending my time going down here worshiping him. This is my power. That's what he's trying to convey to Daniel, who has way far more wisdom than this king. This is how you should look at your slave master. This is how you should look at Donald Trump, Joe Biden, the boss at your slavery. This is how you should look at them. Because we have understanding in here. We have real wisdom in here in the I.S.U.P.K, man. All right? This king said, thinkest not that Baal is a living power. Keep reading.
Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day?
So this is my reasoning. This is why I think that Baal is a living power, because look at what all he eats and drinks in a day. And we just went over that. How many measures of fine flour? Great measures, 12 great measures of fine flour, 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. That's what it takes in order for you to appease this God. Good night, man. This king is simple. Go ahead, Ottawa.
Don't you see the cars that he's driving?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't look at that big old house that he got. You understand? Look at all the nice women that he got. Look at all the nice clothes that they got. Can't you see? We should be praising him.
Right.
Should we be trying to forego our rent to go to the Beyonce concert? Can't you see everybody screaming her name?
That's right.
They become gods to us.
Right.
They become our Baals. Can't you see what money can buy us? Can't you see all the money? All you see what I had to do to get all this? Oh yeah, I work 36 hours a day.
Right.
That become your bill.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You see, I work hard so I can have what I have. You see all this stuff around? I work hard for this.
Right.
Okay. It's that mentality, you understand? And it's simplicity of how we think, because we think just because somebody has things,
Yeah.
like there's something special about them.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Oh, it's something special about Bill because he eats a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because they drink a lot, because you smoke a lot. Oh, Snoop Dogg, he's the iron lung master, if I may.
Right.
From all the marijuana that he smokes.
That's right.
You see? And we worship Snoop Dogg. Those things become idols to him because we look at the things that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And they be just like Baal, just like this idiotic king looking at this thing like it's an idol and worshiping it.
Right.
Let's see what Daniel says.
Yeah, right. No, you're right, Ottawa. Good night. That's heavy. So keep reading.
Verse 7. Then Daniel smiled and said,
Oh, Daniel looked up at the camera like, all I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you about to find out today. He smiled and said, what?
O king, be not deceived.
Yeah. And so Daniel wasn't being condescending. Daniel was being respectful, okay? But he knew in that moment the king, I'm sure he watched the king do that, go and worship this dumb idol day in and day out. And the king see him not going to worship with him, you know? And so Daniel was looking at him like, you got a lot to learn. You're going to learn about my power. You're going to learn about the God of Israel. You're going to learn about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're going to learn today. That's what Daniel was saying when he smiled at the king, right? Keep reading. O king,
be not deceived.
don't be so dumb. Keep reading.
For this is but clay within and brass without.
It's clay on the inside and brass on the exterior, man. It's got a real shiny, fancy exterior coating, but it ain't nothing but clay. You can find clay everywhere. It's clay in the earth. That's what this is made of, okay? And
did never eat or drink anything.
He's telling you there ain't no life in this idol. Ain't no life in Baal. Baal is not a real thing. Baal is an inanimate object, man. That's all it is. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 8. So the king was wroth.
King was pissed. How the hell you gonna tell me I'm the king of what? Of Persia. Cyrus of Persia received the kingdom, right? I'm a king. Look at this is my kingdom. I'm able to sacrifice all this to Baal every single day. 12 great measures of fine flour, 40 sheep, 6 vessels of wine. This is what I spend every day to worship this, my God. Good night. King was pissed. And he what?
And called for his priest.
Yeah, not only was he pissed, he's like, I got to prove to you that you're wrong and that I'm right. So we look at numbers and we look at the masses as if, you know, what they're doing is right. Like they can their actions, you know, can be validated. Just because everybody is doing something, that lets me know it's the wrong thing. You ever want to know the wrong thing in life? Just look at the masses. Look at what the masses are doing, what society is doing, what's popular in society. Go ahead, Ottawa.
And Salakia too, this also goes to show that when you're not doing what everybody else is doing, somebody's paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like the king was noticing that Daniel wasn't even rocking with Baal like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was damn near like a setup from the jump. So when you stand for something, be willing to die for it. You understand?
That's right.
Be willing to lose your life because somebody is sitting back watching you and the things that you're not doing, and they waiting for some sign of weakness. And if they don't see the sign of weakness, guess what? They're gonna test you. They're going to test you. And that's what this king did. This king, out of all the people he went to, Kawal, why did he just end up going to Daniel? You know what I'm saying? Why isn't this story about somebody else?
Right.
Jeroboam or somebody. No, it's about somebody who stood for the Most High. So this king was taking notice that this brother here was something different.
Right.
Huh? He knew he stood for something different. So we walk in buildings and how we talk to one another, what we stand for, what we do or what we don't do. Remember, somebody's always paying attention.
Right.
The minute you turn down that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, the minute you say you have 2 wives, the minute you say you can have more than one wife, just know somebody's rubbernecking.
They are.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Look at who it. You know, goosenecking.
Good night.
Paying attention. That's
Right.
what this king was doing. Salaki.
No, you damn right, Otto one. Give him a hand. He right. You know what comes to mind is Amos 3:3. You know, and it says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" The king knew in that moment, you know, there's a difference here. Why is he going that way? Me and my kingdom, we're worshiping Baal, but Daniel doing his own thing. He's on my radar now. Okay, keep reading.
And called for his priests and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die.
So the king already found favor in Daniel amongst all his friends. Daniel was saying things that were intriguing to the king, you know, things that sparked thought. Daniel wasn't just talking, he wasn't just a run-of-the-mill Israelite, man. You know, he was speaking truth to power, literally. And the king was bewildered by the things that he said and the things that he was doing. So he had to get all of his priests. And he threatened this priest with death if they couldn't validate Baal being a living power. Okay? Keep reading.
Verse 9.
He called them expenses. I'm spending all my money. 12 measures of fine flour, 40 sheep. How many vessels of wine? 6 vessels of wine each and every day. Every single day. This king was wealthy, man. He had wealth beyond measure. But the king, you know, he don't want to waste his money, man. That's one thing I know about the rich. You know, they don't want to just waste their money. Keep reading.
Verse 9. But if ye can certify me that Baal devoureth them.
Certify. What is that word certify? Yeah, it's a guarantee, right? You make this true, right? That what?
That Baal devoureth them, then Daniel shall die.
Good night. Just like a heathen, because you don't understand something or someone. You ready to unalive it. Keep reading.
For he hath spoken blasphemy against Baal.
So Daniel spoke blasphemy because he, like I said, spoke truth to power. He telling this king the truth about this dumb idol made of clay covered in brass. Keep reading.
And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word.
Yeah, okay. Let it be. Daniel was confident. He was cool as a cucumber in that moment because he served the power, man, that created heaven and earth. He served Yahweh, man. That's the confidence that every Israelite should have. But you got to be obedient. You got to be obedient. You got to know who you are according to these laws, statutes, and commandments. What are you doing in your day-to-day living? How are you practically applying what God says to your life each and every day so that he can fight your battles for you, man? So that he can be your power. Keep reading.
Verse 10. Now the priests of Baal were 70.
70. What is 70? A score is 20, right? 20 and 3 is 60. 70 is what? 70 is what? 600?
Oh, you said
70 and 10, and meaning times 10. Good night. I'm sorry, Salakia. My math is off. 70. So it might be 60 plus 10. So that's 70, right? besides their wives and children. So we're not even counting the women and children. All right. We're just counting the priest of Baal or of this king. Okay. Keep reading.
Beside their wives and children.
Right.
And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Baal. Verse 11. So Baal's priest said, Lo,
look, keep reading.
We go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast and seal it with thine own signet.
So the priest was like, we going out. You put the meat in here. You make ready the wine, and you close the door behind you and seal it with your signet, right? You know, it's King David's signet right here, all right? I don't know what this heathen bastard signet looked like. I'm sure it was disgusting, but they were giving the king directives. Go ahead, Adawan.
And this also goes what the Bible says, precept must be upon precept.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, your name, your signature meant something when you put it on something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a stamp of approval, a guarantee.
That's right.
And that's when we were the Magun Dawada.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like that. So we ain't just making these things up when we teach the Bible.
Right.
We're certified priests and prophets of the Lord under command of YAHANNA in the I.S.U.P.K. The only brothers that are authorized to teach this book on the entire face of the earth. You understand? And we do it every single day without fail.
Right.
Salaki.
Damn right. No, he right. Get him to camp ASAP. Good. Oh man. Most High in Christ. We're on verse 12. The history of the destruction of Baal and the dragon in the Apocrypha. You can read for me, brother.
Verse 12. And tomorrow, when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal hath eaten up all, we will suffer death. Or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us.
Right. So tomorrow, okay, when you come in to this chamber, when you come into, where this idol Baal is, after, you break the seal with your signet, it says, if thou findest not that Baal has eaten up all, we will suffer death. So if you don't see Baal eating up all this fine flour and sheep and wine, then we'll die. It says, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 13. And they little regarded it, for under the table they had made a privy entrance.
Privy is a private, right? It's a secret entrance, right? Yeah, you think about Montebello, which is Thomas Jefferson's house, and he had a lot of privy entrances, in and throughout the foundations of this house. You look at the blueprint of this home, it was ways that you could get to the kitchen and to the living room without being seen as far as the slaves are concerned. Right. With the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah, when they walk through the wardrobe, and it's his own privy entrance. Keep reading, Salakia. Whereby what?
Salakia, table they had made a privy entrance, whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things.
So out of the 70-odd priests plus their wives and children, they came in and out of this entrance to consume all of those expenses. The 12 great measures of flour, the 40 sheep, the 6 measures of wine. That's what they were consuming privately. Okay. The king didn't know this, but his followers were getting fat. They was eating high off the hog. They was eating high off Baal. Okay. Keep reading.
Verse 14. So when they were gone forth, the king set meals before Baal.
Set meats before Baal, right?
Salakia, meats. before Baal.
Before all them sheep. He set them before Baal. Keep reading.
Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes.
Daniel did what?
Commanded his servants to bring ashes.
Okay.
And those they strewed throughout all the temple.
Right.
In the presence of the king alone.
In the presence of the king alone. So I know the king looking around like, what the hell y'all doing to my idol? What y'all doing to my altar? But see, he didn't know that he was dealing with MacGyver. Daniel was like a modern day forensic scientist. You know, this is the forensic team about to pull some fingerprints. Not fingerprints, but footprints. You know what I'm saying? Daniel was cold, man. Go ahead, Ottawa.
And that's how we are when they talk about the Immaculate Conception.
Right.
All of us like, brother, ain't no way she had no baby without no man being in there. Ain't this Bible says Christ was black. Ain't no way that man over there supposed to be our king.
Right.
Ain't no way.
Right.
The angels had bronze feet. Ain't no way them angels with them naked babies over there.
That's right.
That's how we are. We are peculiar people. We special. We able to look at things and be like, you know, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
You know when I Salaki aside. I'm gonna Salaki one y'all.
No, you too up.
You killing me, man. But I could talk about it. My uncle, man, he used to indulge in the sins of the world. And every time he would go out into the streets to go and get his fix or whatever, he'd be like, yeah, I'm about to go out here and hope on it won't be my last time. But he know he was going out there to get it. Like with Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, it's in us to want to do right.
Right.
It's in us to be able to observe, but the ways of this world, man, we got too many balls in here, man.
Right.
We got too many bells that we seek after that we're not even trying to fight. That's why Commander General Hunter talked the way he talked and walk the way he walk and say the things that he say.
That's right.
Because we all had that same spirit of Daniel. We know the things that we doing is messed up and that's wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All we gotta do just investigate it. Investigate it. You really want something that you struggling with in life, investigate it.
That's it.
Investigate it. And we about to figure out what Daniel did.
That's right.
Let's get it.
No, damn right. You right, Ottawa. Do some investigation, man. You know, Daniel was this right here. This is how I know that our culture is of the Most High, because this is forensic science in antiquity. You know, for him to spread ashes throughout. Just spread ashes throughout. Because I'm sure that Daniel knew. He was watching them. He was watching these priests and their families. I know he knew something was up. The king just as dumb. Yeah. The king just as dumb as he want to be. Right. Oblivious to what's going on, in his cabinet, or with his in his chambers. He don't know. He just spending the money and going to worship this dumb idol named Baal. Okay. Daniel was doing like the fingerprint lifting method, man, but for footprints. Keep reading.
Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed.
Salakia, tell them where you are, brother.
We're in the history of Baal and the dragon, verse 14.
Right. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 15. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were wont to do.
Yeah, as they often did. This is a habit. They would habitually do this every night. Somebody had to consume all this stuff, all these expenses. Keep reading.
As they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all.
Doing what they want to do up in there. Keep reading.
Verse 16. In the morning, bedtime, the king arose, and Daniel with him.
Right.
Verse 17. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yeah, O king, they be whole.
Right. The king's like, them seals ain't broken, right? Ain't nobody been in here. We about to find out the truth of this matter. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 18. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all.
That's right. There's no, this isn't a false thing. Me worshiping you, me spending all this money, all these expenses. You are a living power. O Baal is what the king said. All right. But what did Daniel do? Salakia. I can't help but to laugh. What did Daniel do?
Verse 19. Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in.
Hold up, king. Hold up now. Don't be superficial with this thing. You seeing that the food is gone, the wine is gone, the fine flour is gone. All the meat that we laid out in here, it ain't here no more. But you saw me lay them ashes down, right? You remember me laying these ashes down throughout. Keep reading. Yeah, the king, Daniel holding the king up. He holding the king up now.
Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in.
Right.
And said, behold, now the pavement.
Behold, you looking at the table. You worried about the damn expenses, as a rich man should, right? But you're not looking at this. You're not investigating. You're not asking the right questions. You're not looking where you should be looking. All right. He said, behold, now the pavement. Look at the flow. Look at the floor, king. Keep reading.
Behold, now the pavement, and mark well, whose footsteps are these?
Yeah. What's all these footsteps doing in here? Who do these footsteps belong to? Who do they belong to, king? Keep reading.
Verse 20. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry.
Yeah, he got tricked. The king realized, oh, somebody playing a dirty game with my money. Okay. He said, I see footsteps of men, women, and children. I knew it was footsteps all through and through that place. He put ashes through and through. And then he was what?
And then the king was angry.
Yeah, as he should be. That's how you feel when you found out that you got robbed or you've been fooled or tricked. You get pissed off, as the king was pissed off. He wants answers. He wants an explanation as to why and how. He done put all his faith and trust in this God. Go ahead.
That's how I felt when I came into the school, when I found out that Jesus wasn't white.
Damn right.
When I found out that, going to church was a waste of time.
Right.
And I found out wearing on those Steve Harvey suits and singing in the choir and getting dipped in some nasty baptismal pool was worthless. I was pissed.
When I found out I wasn't no damn African.
Oh, that too.
Man.
All that RBG stuff was out the window.
Man, out the window. I don't got to wear no kente cloth. I don't got to wear no damn kufi. I don't got to stick my head under some cow's behind and get orange hair. I don't have to do any of that. Good night. The king was pissed off. We pissed off here in real time. All right, keep reading.
Verse 21. And took the priests with their wives and children, who showed him the privy doors, where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table.
Good night. So Daniel did this. He showed them. He showed them the privy entrance. And that right there, oh man, that's sobering. That's a sobering reality. All this time, for all this time, all this money, all these expenses. And these are my people, my loyal subjects that did this to me. Keep reading.
Verse 22. Therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple.
Yeah, which is what we were commanded to do, man. To destroy their altars, man. He was given the order to do that by the king, though. Okay. I don't need you going and pissing on Christmas trees and burning, setting them on fire. Don't do any of that, okay? This king, after he realized that there was no life, there was no power within Baal, he gave Baal into Daniel's hands. And Daniel did exactly what he should have did, all right? He destroyed him and the temple, okay? Keep reading.
Verse 23. And in that same place, there was a great dragon.
A what?
There was a great dragon.
All right, so this is really interesting. We talk about dragons, and it's very common to hear about dragons, especially when you're dealing with the Babylonians. But the so-called oppressor is like, he is obsessed with dragons. You got Dungeons and Dragons, you got J.R. Tolkien, Desolation of Smaug. You know, you think of famous dragons in history. You know, I remember the Never-Ending Story, Falcor. That was a dragon, you know. The Game of Thrones, oh man, Mother of Dragons. Yeah. House of Targaryen. Yeah, Four Dragons of Dragons. And then I remember the movie Dragonheart with Sean Connery. They made the dragon have a Scottish accent. You know, you think of Dragon Ball Z. You know, there's so many different ways that they worship this mythological beast called a dragon. Okay. If you can't pull the Zondervan definition of dragon, yes, already. Because what I know about a dragon, in real time, we have what you call a Komodo dragon, okay? And that's one of the largest lizards on Earth. I've seen a Komodo dragon eat a deer whole, okay? That's a dragon. They look at that lizard as being a dragon. And you think about the so-called dinosaurs, right? And just big reptiles as dragons. What does it say about dragon in the Zondervan?
It says dragon, an imaginary creature of great size and frightening aspect. A number of passages in the KJV rendered dragon are more correctly translated jackal. You find this in Job, etc. Right. It says revelation by means of dragon imagery.
Okay. Most High in Christ. So in that same day, or Salakia, and in that same place, there was a great dragon. It may have been an animal. It could have been an inanimate object like an idol. Okay. Doesn't really expound on the characteristics of this dragon. Okay. Keep reading.
Verse 24. And the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say
No. Go back to 23. Salakia. What was that?
Verse 23. And in that same place there was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worship.
These heathens worship this great dragon. They worshiped him. They held this dragon in high esteem, in the same manner that the king worshiped Baal. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 24. And the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say that this is of brass?
Right.
Lo, he liveth, he eateth, and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God. Therefore, worship him.
Right. So because this dragon was eating and drinking, okay, I'm not going to give personification to this thing or animate this dragon, because it could have just been an idol that people were making offerings to in the same manner that he was doing with Baal. This king isn't too wise. He ain't too bright. He been fooled once by a dumb idol. All right. So because he sees the Babylonians worshiping this dragon, he wants to render, that this dragon has life and should be worshipped. That's what he's trying. He's trying to validate the reasoning for why these people are worshiping this dragon. Okay. Keep reading.
Verse 25. Then Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord my God,
That's right.
for he is the living God.
That's right. He is the living God. So Daniel looked at this thing and realized that there was no life in this dragon. Daniel saw this dragon and how the people the Babylonians worshiped this dragon. The Babylonians are heathens. He saw how the heathens were worshiping this dragon, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna stand on business. I'm gonna show my quality. I'm gonna worship Yahweh as I've been doing." All right, keep reading.
Verse 26. But give me leave.
Give me what?
Give me leave.
That's right.
O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff.
Yeah, I'm not going to use a sword or a staff. You know, the weapons that we associate with, you know, unaliving or defending. I'm gonna take care of this dragon a different way. Keep reading.
The king said, I give thee leave.
Right.
Verse 27. Then Daniel took pitch.
He took pitch. What is pitch? What is pitch? You in the Tar Heel state, boy. You don't know what pitch is? Highly flammable. Highly flammable. We're talking about a dragon now. We know some of the characteristics of a dragon. Dragons breathe fire, do they not?
Okay.
Yeah, mythological dragons breathe fire. So this idol was probably breathing fire. I'm not going to teach that. I'm just saying. You think of a dragon, every dragon I know breathes fire. Okay, keep reading.
Then Daniel took pitch and fat.
So he took pitch and fat. Keep reading.
And hair.
Pitch, fat, and hair. Okay. Keep reading.
And did seethe them together.
He seethed them together, right? He made a bomb, man. He made like napalm. He made like an incendiary substance, something that will burn fervently. Okay, high heat. Daniel was MacGyver. That's right. That's right. This is like an ancient explosive, perhaps. What Daniel made. Okay. Something that that was going to burn.
So Salakia, that's pretty much what he was meaning when he was stating that he wasn't going to use a sword or a staff. He had something flammable instead to use.
Yeah, I got something better. This is suitable for this dragon. You know? Since you want to blow fire, you know what I'm saying? Good night. Keep reading.
And did seethe them together and made lumps thereof.
Right.
This he put in the dragon's mouth.
He put it where?
In the dragon's mouth.
That's right.
And so the dragon burst in sunder.
Burst in flames, man. Good night. And
Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship.
Look, these are the gods you worship. I put this pitch, this hair, and this fat in your God's mouth, and it set them ablaze, set them on fire. Go ahead, Ottawa, Salakia.
I would just ask the brother that are tuning in, what are the stories in the Bible that represent this same thing about idols? If anybody online listening.
Man, and fire. They don't do well with fire. These idols, they don't stand up well against fire, man, which is of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They don't do well against fire. I need a flame. Give me a fireproof idol, a fireproof God. Where he at? That the heathens worship. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. You know, we ain't getting no response just yet. I love that this monitor is up here. I can see what's going on. Who's commenting? I don't gotta look over my shoulder no more. The Most High in Christ. Where we at? 28?
Verse 28. Ready?
Yeah, you got it, brother.
Salakia. When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation.
What does that word indignation mean? Indignation. This is one of their gods that Daniel set ablaze, asunder. You done set one of their gods on fire. This is a dragon. Dragon's supposed to be able to, to withstand fire. They breathe fire, don't they?
Go
ahead, brother.
The Merriam-Webster's definition of indignation: anger aroused by something unjust, unworthy, or mean.
So what Daniel did was mean in their eyes. It was unjust, and their anger was aroused because of that, right? Keep reading.
And conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew.
The king has become a Jew. He's just like Daniel. Now that's crazy because Daniel's reputation must have preceded himself. They know about the Jews. They know about the God of the power of the Jews. All right. That name rings bells throughout the earth. The Babylonians knew what time it was when it came down to the Jews. Okay. The king was getting to know. They were pissed and they conspired against the king. All right. And they said that he's just like Daniel. He's becoming just like Daniel, a Jew. Keep reading.
And he hath destroyed Baal. He hath slain the dragon and put the priest to death.
That's right. He put the priest to death. He slain the dragon. He done let Daniel destroy Baal and the temple. What the hell is going on? He's changing our way of living. This is our custom. These are our traditions. This is our religion. These are our gods. All Daniel was doing was just showing his quality. All he was doing was being obedient. All he was doing was showing these heathens that their ways were vanity. Keep reading.
Verse 29. So they came to the king and said, deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house.
So the king got put between a rock and a hard place. So they said, you better turn Daniel over to us, or we're going to destroy what?
Destroy thee and thine house.
Yeah, we're going to not only will we destroy your house, we're going to destroy you. Keep reading.
Verse 30. Now, when the king saw that they pressed him sore,
right,
being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them.
So the king was already convinced. He was convinced in the power of Daniel. He was convinced in his mind, but not so much so, because these heathens, these Babylonians were threatening to cut his water off. And in that moment, he's like, oh, no. It's going to be you or me. I'm going to hand you over to save his own skin, like the slimy bastard he is. All right? You cannot be a coward, man. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 31. Who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days?
Okay. So the king delivered Daniel unto them. The king is who cast Daniel into the lion's den. And that's where he was waiting for how many days?
6 days.
Right.
Verse 32.
We all know the story of Daniel in the lion's den, right? You can refer to the book of Daniel, the 6th chapter. It'll let you know, give you more insight. Okay. Into Daniel being cast into a den of lions, hungry, voracious lions, ferocious lions. Go ahead, Ottawa.
And Salakia, this still the same thing today. You show up with the truth of the Bible, the truth of the Most High, your family stop inviting you to things. They start saying you done lost your mind.
Right.
You start going to church, you start pointing out the things that are hypocritical in the church. The pastor start pointing you out like, brother, you're going to be, what they call it, disavowed?
That's right.
Yeah, disfellowship.
Disfellowship.
You start asking too many questions. You start pointing out the things that they say are true are all false. And you can only know that truth if you really believe in what's actually in this Bible.
Right.
You believe in listen to the words of the Most High and begin to say, you know what? the way I've been living is quite contrary to what's actually in this Bible.
Mm.
I've been listening to these stories of Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and Valentine's Day, and none of this is in the Bible.
Right.
I've been listening to the story of the Immaculate Conception, and none of this is in the Bible. And we learn this truth, man, and it's eye-opening. So that's why when brothers go out on the street corner, that's why they tell us to shut up.
That's right.
They want to do the same thing that they did in this story. They want to enjoy the lies so they can eat. They can eat off of it. You understand?
Mm.
It wasn't even so much the idol bunker, y'all. I think the fact that they was getting all the fine flour, all the fine rice, they was eating deliciously, y'all.
That's right.
And just like how they eat off the Lord's chosen people, they don't want us to find the truth because they get fat off of us.
That's right. That's right.
So Commander General YAHANNA, guess what he does? He's the real orchestrator of this thing that we, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's the one doing the forensic science on the problems that we see in the earth. That's why it's imperative that we tune in every Monday night to America on Fire. You understand?
That's right.
He's laying out he put what you call it. Look, Commander General YAHANNA got the black light eye. He's pulling it out. He's see, they've been screwing us all over here.
Right.
Yeah, we see that all over there. Look at all the crumbs that they're leaving from eating our brothers and sisters up. So now we waking it up. So that's why you sit around and call us a hate group and all these other things. You know what? We hate the lies that are constantly pushing this empire, man. Just like Daniel did. Just like all these false idols that they want us to consistently worship and give our children over to them year in and year out. But it's only brothers that actually love each other that's turning the tide in the earth right now, man. And that's the spirit of the Most High. We on that new wine. We just came out of the Lord 55th Passover. Huh? We on some new drink this year, man.
That's right.
Get with it and get lost. You understand? That's how it go, man. And it's so real once you just open up the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I just open up the Bible. Stop living a lie. Stop living a lie. Find something to live for instead of something to die for.
That's right. Damn right. Damn right. Now see, young man James Futrell said something about Exodus 32. Okay, when Moses came off the mountain, Most High in Christ. That's a good example.
The Christmas tree.
Right.
We always call out the idols in Europe.
That's right.
It's always been us as prophets to teach the people. Don't serve no goddamn Christmas tree.
Right.
Put that golden calf in your goddamn wood somewhere, man.
Right.
Like we always fall for that thing.
Most High in Christ. Brother's in here with me tonight. I know that's right. I guess we did the right thing by pulling this story. Lord. That's right. So Trooper Darash, where are we at, brother?
We're at the history of Bel and the dragon at verse 32.
Most High in Christ. So Daniel was cast into the lion's den for 6 days, right?
God.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 32. And in the den there was 7 lions.
Good night. Not 1 lion, not 2. It says how many?
7 lions.
Man, 7 lions. Keep reading.
And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel.
So they used to eating human flesh. It says 2 carcasses. I'm presuming that they're talking about human carcasses. And then it says 2 sheep, 2 alive sheep, right? So they used to eating pretty decent. I don't know how far that stretches between 7 lions, but these lions were starved at this point in time. They didn't get the routine 2 carcasses and 2 sheep. All right. And they threw Daniel in the lion's den. Okay. So you can only imagine how these lions were probably, salivating over a meal called Daniel, right? Keep reading.
Verse 33. Now there was in Jewry a prophet,
Right.
called Habakkuk.
So what do they mean? Jewelry. I ain't talking about what you wear that shines and glistens. In jewelry, Jewry. What does that mean? Jewelry.
This is the Merriam-Webster's definition of Jewry. A Jewish people, community of Jews.
There you go. Within our community, right? It was what?
There was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage,
right,
and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field to bring it to the reapers.
Okay, so he was preparing pottage, not side pottage, not the pottage that Jacob gave Esau. All right, this was lawful. Okay, it was cooked thoroughly. Okay, and he was going to give it to the reapers. What do the reapers do? They're in the field reaping wheat, right? Whatever the harvest is or was. Keep reading.
Verse 34. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, Go, carry the dinner that thou hast in Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den.
So disregard these brothers that's in the field toiling, by the sweat of their brow. They deserve that meal. The Lord saw fit for Daniel to receive this meal. He deserved it way more than those brothers that was reaping in that field. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 35. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is.
He was shook. But he asking the right questions. He making the right statements to the Lord. Tell me exactly what you need me to do. Because I don't want to mess this up. This order's coming from on high. Be very, very specific. I am unfamiliar with Babylon. All right, keep reading.
Verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head.
Okay.
And through the vehemency of his spirit, set him in Babylon over the den.
Man, that's heavy. The vehemency of his spirit. I mean, he wanted to do what the Lord asked him to do, but the Lord wasn't playing. He was serious about Daniel because Daniel was serious about him. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 37. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which God has sent me.
The Lord undrug him all the way to Babylon, into a land you don't know, into a den of 7 hungry, voracious lions. But that's brotherhood, though. What won't you do for your brother, man? Salaki, can you give him the mic? Go ahead, Adawan. Come on now.
I'll just say, for those who do not read the Bible and don't know that the Apocrypha comes from the Bible,
right?
It was only taken out by some evil ass bastards. Where Habakkuk at?
Right.
Where's Daniel at?
Right.
What these prophets said? Where they at? They in the Bible.
Right.
And so we're going to show that the Apocrypha is the Bible.
That's right.
You understand? And all these brothers were together. When you read the Bible, you understand that at these times, these scholars, they was all recording and writing these things down because they was all part of a school.
That's right.
Just like today. You understand? So what we do today, the I.S.U.P.K is what the priests and prophets have always done. Look out for brothers and serve the Most High.
That's right. Oh, damn right. You're right about that. One mind, one body, one spirit, man. That's what we are in this school. All right, keep reading.
Verse 38. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God. Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee.
That's right. The Most High Power will not forget you. He's not a hypocrite. He holds true. His word is bond. If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. We just can't be so weak. We can't be so weak to dismiss, the fact that the Lord is a man of his word. All right. We can't be weak. We have to continue to be obedient in all things. Okay, as Daniel was. He's dealing with kings, he's dealing with the Babylonians, and then worshiping other gods. There's masses of people. How many of those priests got put to death? And their families and their children got put to death behind Daniel's obedience. This is what the Most High Power will do for you. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 39. So Daniel arose and did eat.
That's right.
And the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately.
Put Habakkuk back where he was at. He had to sod some more pottage. He had to cook another meal for them reapers, because I know they was hungry. But Habakkuk was in the right place at the right time, to fulfill the mission, man. He followed through. All right, keep reading.
Verse 40. Upon the seventh day, the king went to bewail Daniel.
That's right. He went to do what?
Bewail Daniel.
So he thinking he's about to be mourning Daniel. There's no way. He's been in the den with 7 hungry lions that are used to eating 2 carcasses and 2 sheep every single day. And we starved them. We withheld whatever their rations were for the day. He'd been in the den with them for 7 whole days. The king already in his mind, his countenance, I'm sure, was down. Keep reading.
And when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting.
Daniel was chilling, man. Daniel was sitting. I'm pretty sure he had his feet up on a rock. Those lions was at bay. The angel of the Lord had them lions at bay. All because he was obedient, man. Daniel was a soldier, man. That's what it takes. It takes for you to be a soldier and not some coward, okay, to serve the Lord. You can hold true to what the Lord says he will do and who he is. Keep reading.
Verse 41. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, Great art thou, O Lord God of Daniel, and there is none other beside thee.
Right. Damn right. The king acknowledged and recognized in that moment that Daniel, he had a power that loved him, man. He had a power that recognized his obedience. Daniel actually had a real living God that he served and that he worshiped in spirit and in truth. Unlike Baal, unlike the dragon, Daniel was standing on business, man. He was serving the God that created heaven and earth in real time, which is what we do in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, man, under commanding General YAHANNA. All right. You're not serving God if you're at Lewis Chapel or at Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church, or at Covenant Love, or at Simon Temple, or at Abney Chapel. You ain't serving the Lord in those places, man. You worshiping Baal and the dragon in those places. All right. You got to come in here if you really want to serve the God of Daniel. Keep reading.
Verse 42. And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den.
Right. So all those Babylonians that called for his blood, they were cast into the den. All right. Keep reading.
And they were devoured in a moment before his face.
Good night. Them lions was hungry. Them lions devour them in a moment is what the Bible says. And that right there is a powerful story. All right. Powerful story of obedience. A powerful story of knowing and recognizing who you are, your identity. It's imperative. Everybody walking around with a smartphone, but you don't know who the hell you are. And that's a problem. It's 2024, man. How much longer are you going to go through life calling yourself an African American or a Puerto Rican or a Dominican or a Native American, man. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you are an Israelite, all right? You heard it here first. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA, man. We teach class every day of the week. Come in here and learn your culture. Learn the customs of the Most High Power. Learn the traditions of our forefathers, all right? So that you can be saved, man. All right, and that's my time. I'm going to pass the class off over to Priest and Officer of 1,000, Kawal Ban Yahawada, to read the security announcements. Clap it up. Get your mic.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We at I.S.U.P.K start at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander YAHANNA. We do rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister come to the school, they're off limits for 6 months.
Right.
They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in Hebrew, is pronounced Ma'ashra. All right, 10% of every penny, any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. All right, we got the Feast of First Fruits. Starts after the Sabbath on what's that say there, brother? Sundown Sunday. All right, 4/28/2024. Count 50 days. All right, celebrate the 50th day. All right, that'll be a Monday, June 17th, 2024. All right. Start before Sunday. You can find us in Leviticus chapter 23. All right. Also, too, make sure y'all tune in to Commander YAHANNA's America on Fire today.
That's right.
We'll be getting ready about 9 o'clock. Like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up as soon as you come in. All right, share the video. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf with that. Mario. Men of Israel, we're going to render one curse to the teacher. Men of Israel, about Shabbat.
Body, rock. How about Shimmy Yahweh
Yahweh, Sar, Turn Face Sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to render one curse to the sisters. Men of Israel, about Shabbat.
Body, rock. Yahweh, Shimmy
Yahweh, class dismissed.
Yes, sir. Yes.